Good morning, this is your stats sensei, Mr. Spensey, and this is test review question scenario 2. The principal at Crestview Middle School, which enrolls only 6th grade and 7th grade students, is interested in determining how much time students at that school spend on homework each night. The table below shows the mean and standard deviation of the amount of time spent on homework each night in minutes for a random sample of 26th grade students. All right, so we have 26th grade students and a separate random sample of 27th grade students. All right, so this case, we have two independent samples. It's possible to have done this as paired if they would have taken the same students and measured the student in 6th grade and then measured the student in 7th grade. But here we have two independent samples. So this is going to be a two-sample t-test. There are more than 220 6th grade students and more than 240 7th grade students. So it's about 20 larger for the 7th grade. So 6th grade students had a mean of 27.3 minutes and 7th grade students had a mean of 47 minutes. And here are our standard deviations. We have an issue. Our sample sizes are less than 30, so they're not going to be normal by central limit theorem. So based on the dot plots, it is reasonable to assume that the distribution of times for each grade were approximately normal. Okay, so they told us it was normal. That's important. Estimate the difference in mean time spent for homework for all 6th and 7th grade students in this school using a 97% confidence interval. All right, so they're telling us straight out that we're going to be using a confidence interval. The word estimate was also a good hint that it was probably going to be a confidence interval. So let's go ahead and start defining our parameters. Well, we're interested in how much time they spend a night on homework. So let mu1 equal the true population mean amount of time 6th graders spend on homework. Specifically, that's at Crestview Middle School. Let mu2 equal the true population mean amount of time 7th graders spend on homework. All right, our formula. X bar 1, sample mean 1, minus sample mean 2, plus or minus T star S1 squared over N1 plus S2 squared over N2. All right, so let's start filling it in. We know we had sample sizes of 20 for both of them, so that makes it easy. We'll go ahead and hit those first. So we got the sample sizes of 20. Now we got to do a little bit of hunting around and see what we have. So when I start hunting around, I see that we have 27, a mean of 27 minutes and a standard deviation of 10.8 for the 6th graders. So 27.3. And this is 10.8. X bar 2 is 47 and 12.4. Looks like the 7th graders are spending a lot more time. So it asks us to calculate T star and to do our degrees of freedom, but we can't do that until we run the test. So let's go ahead and take a moment and we'll actually run the test right now. All right. So stat test. We're going to drop all the way down to what's like a number 0 or 10, where it's two sample t interval. Press enter. And we have 27.3, 10.8, 20, 47, 12.4, and 20. And they said we wanted a 97% confidence level, so we got that. We never pool. We press calculate, and we get an interval of 28, negative 28 to a negative 11.4. So the difference between them is somewhere between 28 minutes and a little over, or about 11 and a half minutes. That's the difference. So we have our interval. This is our lower bound. This is our upper bound. So it looks like seventh graders somewhere spend between 28, somewhere between 11 and 28 more minutes a night studying. All right, when we did that, the reason we ran it is we needed this degrees of freedom. So our degrees of freedom is 37.29. At this point, I can go start working on my calculation. This is going to be an inverse T, and it's going to ask for my area, which is going to be 1 minus 0.97 divided by 2. So let's see what happens. Second vars, inverse T. So 1 minus 0.97 divided by 2. My degrees of freedom was 37.29. And I end up getting a T star of 2.256. All right. So our conditions. Well, the first thing they told us is we had 2 random samples of size 20. So condition 1, 2, well, yeah, I want to say 2 random samples of size 20. And that was given. All right, the next thing is, were they independent? And yes, they're 2 independent samples. 2 independent samples given. 3, the n is less than 10%, so I'm going to have to do that. They're both the same. So n equals 20, n1 equals 20, and 20 times 10 equals 200. And we're looking at the 6th grade students, and they told us that they were 226 grade students, so this is less than that. So less than 220. For the other one, n2 equals 20. We still have 20 times 10, but which equals 200, but that's less than 240. All right, because that was the 7th grade students. All right, normality. It's not normal by central limit theorem because our sample size was too small. But when we look back, they apparently did some dot plots and they said that they were normally distributed. So both distributions are normal, and that's given. All right, the next thing, we need to plug. So we're plugging in all that information into this formula. So 27.3 minus 47 plus or minus T star, which is 2.2563. Standard deviation of 10.8 squared over 20 plus 12.4 squared over 20. All right, so this was our conclusion. And well, what are we? Well, we are 97%. That the true population difference of the means for sixth grade homework time now you could say and seventh grade homework time, but I'm gonna say minus seventh grade homework time. Because that's what we did. Lies within the interval -28 and 11.4. And I'm gonna put minutes. All right, that way we have it, we know what we measured it in. All right, the next one is to explain the confidence level. And the confidence level is purely this: in repeated sampling, we expect to capture the, and we can pretty much write what we have here, true population difference of the means. Difference of the means for sixth grade homework time minus seventh grade. How often? 97% of the time. Now I could have said sixth grade homework time minus seventh grade homework time, but since I've already said homework time here, I don't really feel like I need to say it twice. And it shortens up my writing just a little bit. All right, I sure hope this helps. Hope to see you on the next one, and let's make sure we study for that test. Thank you.